So we're playing game 1 of the Super Regional for the first time in program history, and we look terrified. If you see what we did with just that one game of experience, and we came back the next day and we were that much improved, I just can't wait to see what we do this year.
Today, we're thrilled to introduce a special guest, Coach Jamie Stanclift, the esteemed head softball coach at Wingate University. Under her remarkable leadership, the Bulldogs have thrived, a testament to her expertise and dedication, culminating in her earning the prestigious SAC Coach of the Year award in 2023. Join us as we explore Coach Stanclift's journey, her passion for softball, and her profound impact on shaping student athletes both on and off the field. Coach Stanclift. Yay.
Thank you. Made me sound very fancy.
Well, I mean, that's from our wonderful media department here that I rewrote for you. So great to have you on. You're the head coach of the softball program, and you're taking over from a legend. Yes. How was that transition from coming in where softball's been very good here for a very long time, and, you know, somebody that you're stepping in replace of was beloved still at the university. What was that kind of like as you kind of moved into Wingate University?
Well, for one, I was extremely fortunate to have a mentor like Michelle Cadigan, and to have her just embrace me and help empower me to put my stamp on the program. I never once felt like she stepped on my toes, and I just felt nothing but support. And that's extremely special.
I feel like it's rare too.
It is, yeah, to have an administrator, especially, you know, your direct report that coached your sport before, and is just so supportive. That was something that was very appealing to me about the job as well. I think anyone who's ever encountered Michelle, worked with her, worked for her, or just knows her as a person, knows exactly what I'm talking about. That, you know, like I was welcomed with open arms, and that was something very special to me. But yeah, taking over the program had not been doing bad. I mean, top of the conference, regularly in the top 3 or 4, hadn't won that conference title since 2009. But, you know, making a regional almost every year, I wasn't hired to win more games. I was hired to kind of reinvigorate the program and change the student athlete experience a bit, and just do things my way and put my stamp on the culture. And that is something I'm extremely passionate about. And I've just kind of kept that at the forefront and my main focus. The results will take care of themselves. And I've just really been focused on bringing the right people here and building a foundation. And we've been fortunate enough to have success follow.
Yeah, no, I did a little research on you. You know, you come from a softball family.
Yes.
You were all things softball. You went to high school, was it Ohio?
I am from Kansas. Yes, I was in Ohio for 1 year of college.
Okay, that's what I remember that. And you played college softball, and then you transferred after your freshman year to
Wichita State University.
And so finished your collegiate career there, played first base.
Yes.
And then you went into work. Like,
yes.
Tell me about like getting out of playing softball, and, you know, that was such a big part of your life growing up. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm done. You know, that's not the normal college coaching experience that we get.
No. So I was a coach's kid. Mom coached my high school team. Dad coached me in travel ball growing up. And, you know, car rides home for me weren't always the same as they are for all kids. Yep. But I say that in the best way, because little did I know at the time I was soaking it all in. So in college, I thought I wanted to stay in the sports world, but not coaching. And that's probably because I had parents that were coaches. So I saw just what their schedules were like, and hours and things that they dealt with, stresses and things like that. And so I didn't really think that was for me. So I kind of went into the business side of sports, and I worked as a sales rep for a sportswear company, just that fresh out of college gig, just trying to climb the ladder. And I was successful at it. And in my first first year and a half, I got connected with an 18 and under fast pitch softball team. They were buying uniforms from me. And as their coaches found out more about me and my background, they asked if I would like to help coach the team. And at the time, I was just thirsty for any softball that I could get. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That would be fun. Well, it was a pretty dang salty team. Every player on the team went on to play college ball.
Oh, wow.
They had been playing together since they were 8 years old, and we won the national title that summer. So
not too shabby.
That's a pretty good first coaching experience. When you're not losing too much, things are really fun. So I was hooked from that point on. I was like, okay, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. And I talked to my folks about it and sought out a grad assistant job and put my 2 weeks notice in with my company and took that big leap. And then at Baker University, after 1 year being a grad assistant, I was elevated to head coach.
It's a pretty big jump.
At the age of 24, I think it was. And I was not ready, but you never are. And so you just have to get thrown into the fire. And now here we are. This is year 11 as a head coach.
Man, no, I understand it. So, when I graduated, I played football here. And when I graduated, I was like, I'm going to go coach high school football. That's fun. So I got and started teaching, and 23 years old, was offensive coordinator. And, it's like, I'm not ready for this. You think you are, but at the same time, I shouldn't have been doing that. Like, I shouldn't have been where my thing was, but I got thrown into it just like you, where it was like, hey, this guy can't do it anymore. And the offense, so go call plays. And it's like, oh boy. Yeah. But, I ended up moving away from it, but just like you, I kind of got roped into it. My wife owns a real estate law firm. We do real estate closings, and the offensive coordinator for the local high school came in, closed on his house, and my wife looked at him. She's like, "You're a football coach, aren't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course." And you just, the look. And she's like, and she's like, "Oh, great. My husband played football, and he was offensive coordinator back in the day." And turns out I played against him in college. He went to Mars Hill. Okay. So we played at the same exact time. And he calls me up that night and he's like, "Hey, do you want to coach?" And I'm like, "Sure." There you go. Why not? And so I coached for the past 2 years, and I didn't this year. And it was weird, but it's funny how you kind of get roped back into it after all those years. So, you were in a NAIA coach. And didn't you guys went to, you were having success?
Yes. I was the head coach for 6 years. Well, no, I was there for 6 years, head coach for 5 years. Okay. Last 2 seasons, we were breaking all the records. We broke the program records, and then the next year we broke our own records, back-to-back trips to the NAIA national tournament. And we had the NAIA National Pitcher of the Year. So, some success and a lot of fun times, really great people that were willing to trust in me, as a 24-year-old head coach for the first time, still learning just as much as they were every day. And so, I was trying to make the big time right where I was and do everything that I possibly could to put that program on the map and just develop young women into the best versions of themselves. And then Wingate came calling, and I had not heard of Wingate before. I'd never been to North Carolina besides just playing at UNC in my college playing days. I think we played in a tournament there. And so they discovered me somehow through success at an NAIA school in Kansas, a little school, one stoplight town. I couldn't believe it. That was very flattering and humbling. And I did research on Wingate. And
what was your first impression when you got to campus?
Oh my gosh! Well, my online research was like, I want to look into this place, and they look like they've got their stuff together. Very dominant across the board in all sports. It's obviously a place you can be successful. So that piqued my interest. When I stepped on campus, I had chills, and I just felt like it's where God wanted me to be. And it just felt right. I know that sounds so cliche, but just being on campus, you can tell it's a special place. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's well taken care of. And the people, everybody that I interacted with that day, you could just tell it was genuine and really positive energy everywhere. And that's what I'm about. And it just felt like where I belong.
Yeah. So then you said, you know what? I'm going to move across the country.
I did.
Let's check out North Carolina.
I said, I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm gone.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come to North Carolina to visit me. Yeah. And then I was also fortunate enough to wrangle my staff into coming out with me as well, which was something that meant a great deal to me and has been a huge part of us being able to step in here and have immediate success. Chaley Sims came here with me and Gary Hines came here with me, and they had both been with me coaching in Kansas. My dad came out here with me as well, and he was a volunteer assistant on our staff. So our program is very much about family, and my family came with me, and Chaley is still here with me, and we're just still making this thing happen and keeping the dream alive, and it's very exciting to be able to, be at a place so special and surround yourself with really wonderful people.
Yeah. So, I mean, short time into it, and all of a sudden you're winning Coach of the Year. Like, how does that happen? Like, what are some things that you're doing that's so special that, obviously you're doing something right. So what is it that your cornerstone, what do you kind of hang your hat on as far as like, this is what we're about?
Relationships and valuing people. It's really as simple as that. I know you want to have some fancy answer about the X's and O's of softball, but ultimately people want to be in a place where the environment is that where they are supported in a way where they can thrive and they can, be pushed and held accountable and inspired, and somebody's got their back during the hard times. And it's really important to me that our women know that they're valued as human beings first and foremost. And what happens between the chalk lines is icing on the cake. We're here to support you in everything that you do in the classroom and on the field, and just trying to push yourself to be the best that you can be. And we're going to win some softball games along the way, as long as you just stay bought in and you put the work in and you believe and you're a good teammate and good to those around you. We're going to have a really good environment that is conducive to success. And that's really what I stay focused on.
It's worked out so far.
Yeah.
I mean, what I usually try and say is like, this thing is pretty simple. Mm-hmm. Be a good human.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to be pretty successful in whatever it is you do. And so it seems as though that's kind of what you guys are focused on, kind of the camaraderie, the family atmosphere. You feel welcomed, you feel loved, you feel like you're meant to be here, which when you're a part of a team, yes, you're a part of a university, but then like your small family is the team. You're probably away from home for the first time ever. Mm-hmm. And for you to be able to kind of create that relationship with everybody, it's like, well, these are my people I can rely on now.
Absolutely. That sisterhood that they have is one in a million, and hopefully they're building relationships that they're going to have for a lifetime and keep up with one another as they go through all of the new journeys in life. But, this 4 years of college, 4, 5, 6 with COVID, who knows? It's a really, really special time of life, and you're navigating so many new things and you're figuring stuff out. And so it's a privilege to get to be a part of that part of life for these gals, and to just try to, keep our team and our environment one that they can really be proud of, and that they're really proud to represent, and that they hold each other to high standards at all times, and they're building a legacy, and they're really proud of what they're leaving behind for the next Bulldogs that come in.
Yeah. When you're going out and recruiting and you're looking for people to come into the program, what are some of the characteristics and qualities of a person that you're looking to try and bring into your program?
I'm looking for the character traits that I've kind of touched on, just that accountability and, of course, being responsible, but you got to have that fire in your belly that makes you want to be the best. You're a competitor, and you don't make excuses, and you're not afraid of hard work, and you yearn for coaching and feedback. Those are things that I think are things that set people apart. And I look for as many leaders as I can possibly bring into the program. We don't delegate team captains. We don't wait for you to be a senior to title you a leader. I want you to start from day one as a freshman to start sharpening your leadership tools and use those in every capacity that you can to help the team. Leaders can lead in different ways. We need them to step up and speak up at all different times. And so that building leaders, building strong female leaders is something I'm very passionate about, and doing it within the fabric of a team dynamic is perfect. So I look for those things, and coming from a great family. And then, of course, athletes, versatility, a mix of speed and power in our lineup. Those things are important. People that come from environments where they have been pushed and they have to compete, and things aren't handed to them. They have to work for it. Those are people that I think are going to come in and make an impact and really continue to help us get to where we want to go, which is one of the premier Division II softball programs in the nation.
Yeah.
We're awful darn close.
Getting there.
Getting there. I think we're doing the right things, taking the steps.
Yeah, no, I get that from like the female aspect of building leaders. Like I said, my wife's got a law firm, and it's all women. I am the only male that is there. And so, being able to see them be successful in, a generally male dominated field and industry and all that. And it's like, great, like, do your thing, ladies, like go be you. And, I'm here to support you and help you and all that. But like, we want you guys to be the faces of it. We want you to be on the forefront. And so it's nice to see that, you're able to try and build that here within the athletic department. Because a lot of, if you're not in athletics, generally females, you don't get that kind of, growth happening. It's right. You've got to try and do it yourself.
Yeah.
So when you're starting out as a coach, and you're probably one of the youngest head coaches that was around, probably still one of the youngest head coaches, like how was that for you as far as like getting respect from your opposing coaches and people in the conference?
Well, I think looking back to 11 years ago, I probably would barely recognize who I was at that point in time. I've done an awful lot of growing myself, and I had a lot to learn. I am so thankful for those that stuck with me through those beginning years, all those young women that I coached back then. Thanks for being patient with me. But I just think that in today's world, or in the world in general, like when we're growing up as young girls, we're kind of taught to be polite and to nurture people's feelings and to play nice. And so I find that now as college students, young women, we are afraid to hold each other accountable. We're afraid to have, tough conversations and really be honest with each other. And we don't want to be mean. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. And so any type of, leadership that needs to take place within a team in order to truly be successful, it feels like confrontation to some girls. Like that's how they've kind of been brought up to look at it. And so we've got to counteract that, and we've got to really essentially train each other to be more comfortable having those conversations where you can tell a teammate when they're not up to standard or they're slacking and they need to pick it up or they didn't do something right. Those are 100% necessary conversations that happen within championship teams. They need to happen. We need to have a player-led team. I am more than happy to be the bad cop, but I can't catch everything all the time. Right. And so in order for things to not slip through the cracks and for us to constantly be pushing and pushing to get better every day, we've got to have team members that are willing to have those adult conversations and just be honest and put your feelings aside, because we're all striving toward the same thing, which is to be the best that we can be. So it's not personal. And believe it or not, that's something that we actually have to teach and train and work on and have conversations about. It doesn't come as naturally to a lot of us women as it might to male teams. And that's not to say that it comes easy to all male teams either. But in my experiences, I have found that that's something that takes intentional work to get your team to a point where you can do that and have those healthy conversations that are conducive to success. So, and the end result is a team that is, I think tougher and getting better every day. But it's also a bunch of individuals that are going to leave here and graduate and go out into the world with leadership skills, and they're going to go make a difference, and they're going to go be winners in everything that they want to do in life. Right. And they're going to be set apart. Right.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, I think there needs to be more of that. And, I kind of use that same thought process of what I've learned from being an athlete of what I do in business. And like my wife listened to our podcast with Coach Reich, and she was like, he said a lot of the things you say. I'm like, yeah, I've learned a lot of the stuff from him. That's where sport did that for us. And so it's nice seeing, it's Wingate University. It carries over from all the sports. It's not just the one that I was involved with. What are some of the things you're doing off the field? On the field, coach, player, practice, all that kind of stuff is fine, but building the relationship off the field generally builds the winning culture, which you're building that. So you obviously do things off the field that's different than a normal, just what you would see at high school softball. So what are some of those things that you do to try and help build that kind of family and relationship?
Community involvement is really important to me. We can bond with each other by spending time together off the field, and doing that while we're helping others is something that I think is just truly gives you a feeling that's irreplaceable. But also, I like to think that is instilling some habits, for lack of a better word, that, after graduation, you have experiences giving back to your community, and hopefully you seek out those opportunities in your communities, wherever you end up landing after college, and you've experienced the rewards and things that, you feel, and the difference that you can make by doing those things. So that's one thing that we do. We get involved with the Unionville barbecue here in town. We run a couple youth softball camps a year, free of charge for kids in the community. And we do softball equipment drive to donate softball equipment so that young kids can start playing the game and learning the game, and not have that be a limitation for them just because they don't have equipment. And we do some things like the United Way Day of Caring. We have a pen pal program where we write letters back and forth with youth softball players in the elementary schools, and just kind of even if it's just that they learn how to address an envelope and send snail mail. That's something that not everybody knows how to do anymore. But just to kind of give them someone to look up to. That's an athlete here at Wingate. Our pen pal program is something that's really meaningful to us. The girls always get excited. That's pretty cool. When they get assigned their pen pal for the year. And then, we do all of the other fun team bonding experiences, carve pumpkins together, have a Christmas party. We go on a fall retreat every year that we're fortunate enough to do a little extra fundraising to get to take the team on a fall retreat. We've been to the beach one year and to the mountains this past year, where we all stayed together in a cabin and just had some good old fashioned family fun and cooked meals together and just kind of start to build those relationships and have some conversations to get to know each other deeper than softball. And I think those things are super important, especially in female sports. The more that we are connected with our teammates and we feel supported, and we feel, that trust with one another, the harder we're going to play. That's what I believe. You'll run through a brick wall for those people, and that they'll do it for you too. Yeah, absolutely. There's always players on the team that are, they get all the accolades and All-American and you win national championships and stuff like that. But it's the players that you don't get all of the recognition that are the ones that really build the team. Absolutely. I call them the glue. Yeah. I try not to call them kids, but they're the glue kids. They embrace whatever role they're given. They just want to do anything they can to help the team be successful. And a lot of times they play the hardest position on a team, which is the bench. And they put their personal feelings and personal circumstances aside to be what the team needs them to be at any given moment. And that's something that's really difficult to do, is to be that selfless and to still show up every day and put the same work in that everybody else does. Sometimes things don't come as easy to those individuals as it does to, you know, some others that maybe have more physical intangibles and, you know, genetics and whatnot. But those glue kids, you have to have in any successful team. And they're what hold you together, and you can't do it without them. And they are extremely valuable. And that's something that I think our team has a really good grasp on, and I know I try to touch on it all the time, is how much value every person, every member of the team holds. Because being in the dugout and maybe not being in the lineup at that given time, you can pick a pitch from an opposing team and let a hitter know what's coming. You can catch a runner leaving a base early and have a call turned over that is the difference in, you know, winning and losing a game. You can pick a teammate up to go out there and perform better than she is, just because you simply, you know, are willing to talk to her and you know what makes her tick. You can do all those things that never get put in a scorebook, but they make a difference in a game.
And those are the ones that you remember the most usually.
Yeah. Yeah. So just like there's some names that you see in the stat line all the time, there's names carved in my heart, certainly, of people that have made a difference that maybe nobody else will ever know about, but I remember those things.
Yeah. So, you know, last season you had a pretty good year. What do we need to do? What is the next step? What is holding us back from being a powerhouse that we're trying to be?
I really, truly think experience was a big one last year. Like we had a lot of grit, a lot of toughness. We had a lot of unfortunate injury. People stepped up and overcame all that adversity. I mean, it was like one after another. And people stepped up and really, you know, rose to the occasion and had some really good surprises. And we got to super regionals to North Georgia. They have been to the final site, I think I was reading 8 years in a row.
They're okay.
Yeah, they're decent. And so we're at their place, which is already an intimidating experience. They may or may not try to make it so. And
so it's Lenore Ryan in football. Got it. Yep.
So we're playing game 1 of the Super Regional for the first time in program history, and we look terrified. I would have never seen that coming. I felt like we were so ready, and we got out there and I just didn't recognize the looks on my girls' faces. And so we got run ruled, and we had a little talk afterward, and we showed up the next day and we put our big girl pants on and we came to play. And unfortunately we lost 1-0. It was a completely different game. Both pitchers threw a 2-hitter. It was a phenomenal performance. It came down to them squeaking 1 run across, and they went on to win the national championship last year.
It's never a bad thing when you lose to the champions.
It was a bad thing. No,
it could be worse.
So if you see what we did with just that one game of experience, and we came back the next day and we were that much improved, I just can't wait to see what we do this year. We have all the pieces in place. We lost 2 from last year's team. They were outstanding leaders and they made a huge impact on our team, but we've got several that are chomping at the bit to step in and fill those shoes. And we bring back all that experience. We have 8 seniors on this year's team. And we're finally getting leadership out of people that we have been trying to draw it out of for a few years now. I think they're finally understanding, and we've had some real big breakthroughs in these last few weeks in some of our leadership seminars and some of our training and things that we did. We did a dog days boot camp that we just got done with last week. And I'm just so excited to see what is to come. I wouldn't say we're quite ready yet. We have 15 days of practice, not that I'm counting. And those 15 days are going to be useful. And when we hit the field, I know that, they're going to be excited and ready to go, and they're not going to be afraid afraid. So excited to see how we handle things.
Yeah, getting the experience from last year and winning breeds winning mentality. Now they've been there. We're supposed to be here. It's where we should be. We weren't surprised anybody. So I think because of that, you're going to have a much more a different mentality than you guys had last year. So
for sure, yeah, it's somebody told me early in my coaching career that you just take like one more step each year. It's hard to take more than just one. And I was like, that's crap.
We got 2 steps, 4 steps. Yeah.
Don't put those limits on yourself, But sure enough, that's the way it has worked out in, both schools that I've been at. It's like, first you got to make it there. And then the next year you win a game. Yeah. And then the next year you win the regional. And make it to a super for the first time. Then the next year you win a game there, maybe you win the super. And so, I'm excited to keep taking steps, and I will try to be patient, but I'm an impatient person. So I'm ready to win the dang thing this year.
Absolutely. So if we've got any, softball alum or people that are excited about softball that want to help support the program, what are some of the things that they can do to help you guys out?
Well, we really appreciate your excitement and involvement on our social media pages. That's awesome. And secondly, donations. Yeah. I will be blunt. Yeah. Things cost a lot more these days than they did back in the days when we played. Charter buses, uniforms, team meals, hotels, everything, all the inflation that you experience in your own personal life, it really affects us too. And our budgets are simply not enough to cut it anymore. And so fundraising is required for us to do what we need to do. And we particularly, in order to play the opponents, the regional opponents and the out of region opponents that we need to be getting in the rankings and to be a premier Division II program, we need to play a certain schedule and that costs money. The travel and everything costs money. So we need more financial support and certainly appreciate every little bit that we can get. It enhances the experience for the team as well. And just, when we travel, we make sure that they, get to see things when we have free time, like see things in whatever place we're visiting and have some unique experiences. And it's not just all softball. And we try to make, these years really special to them and provide some unique experiences and memories and things like that. And we want to do things in a first class way. And so, that all means that we need money and we need financial support. The girls put a lot of time into fundraising as well. We work Panthers games and work the concession stands, and we're on our feet those long hours, long days.
We weren't working much this year.
Yeah, they didn't need us at a lot of games this year. They actually closed several stands, so we didn't get to make as much as we had budgeted for this year. So yeah, that's really what we need out of our alumni and any motivated investors is we need financial support and to continue to take this program to the top and enhance the experience for our student athletes.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we're excited for what's coming this year. We think big things are going to happen for the 2024 season, just based on where we currently are. So we appreciate you coming on and taking the time and explaining kind of what's happening in the softball program. So we're looking forward to seeing how the season goes.
Thank you. I'm really excited to see how the team responds. We've kind of got some expectations on our shoulders, but that pressure is a privilege, and they've earned it, and they're prepared for it, and can't wait to see some Bulldogs in the crowd out at our games cheering us on. We had great fan attendance last year, and we look forward to seeing even more this year and making everybody proud. So go Bulldogs. Yeah, perfect. Well, guys, we appreciate you listening to this episode of the OneDog Podcast. Make sure you share this with one of your friends that was probably an alumni of softball, and we'll see you on the next episode.